Am I the idiot for snapping at my in-laws for saying my husband ruined his life? Why? Female 36, husband, male 36, comes from a family of athletes. They put him in boxing as a kid. He was talented and he suffered a lot of pressure from his family. They wanted him to become professional, but my husband never wanted that. In high school, things got worse for him as the school's coaches were brutal and the attention he received from promoters and outside coaches led his family to put more pressure on him. The relationship with his family went south when he informed them he was going to university and giving up boxing for good. Not true, the boxing part. I met him a month before we started high school and we've been together ever since. When he was 30, his family contacted him to try to fix their relationship. Their relationship is decent, the same with me. Now, we took our children on Sunday to visit them. Sister-in-law and her husband were talking about one of my nephews learning to play the piano, and that he is good for his age. Then mother-in-law said and quoted, "Be careful, you don't want to encourage him only for him to quit and ruin his life," as my husband's name. It seemed like mother-in-law forgot I was there and they went silent. My husband was out buying some things with his father and his other two brother-in-law. I was calm and asked her how he ruined his life. His sisters got involved and said that's not what mother-in-law meant, and I wouldn't understand. I replied, "No, I don't understand. I don't understand why you wanted to live through him, why you never listened to him, why you never accepted what he wanted, why you didn't let him be, why you think he ruined his life. I don't get it. If you think it's because I don't know how talented he was, you're wrong because I was there. Even when you abandoned him, it wasn't for nothing that he got 2 scholarships and people were after him. I'd understand if he didn't do anything with his life. But that's not the case. He has a degree, an amazing career, built 2 different businesses, is a great father and husband. He is more successful than all of you combined. Please, tell me how he ruined his life or what part I don't understand." I was silent. I took our children and left. I texted my husband that I was going home. He arrived shortly after and told him what happened and he's not mad. To be honest, this is the first time I heard this type of comments and I pretty much blew the relationship he has with his family. And apparently also caused issues with his sister's husbands because they had a different version of why my husband was estranged. Update 1. I never expected this much attention and sorry for not answering every comment. I will clear some points and give you a small update. First of all, thank you for the kind words and the awards. I reacted on instinct and kind of regretted it. But my husband reassured me that it was fine. He would have done the same thing for me, which I know. He's all smiles every time I see him. I'm sorry for those who went through the same thing. I'm glad you left that horrible situation, and that you are doing what you want. Good job. I should have been clearer. Mother-in-law says he ruined his life because he wasted the chance to be recognized and famous, something they always longed for and couldn't achieve on their own. My husband stopped competing once he finished university, and not after high school. He had to do it so he could maintain his scholarship. The children weren't present when I exploded, they were outside playing. His sisters lied to their husbands about the reason why my husband was estranged. They put the blame entirely on him and downplayed what they did. Someone linked a story about a couple who is dealing with the after trauma and it's heartbreaking. Injuries and trauma are 2 of the many reasons my husband never wanted to make boxing his career. Fortunately, he received minimal damage and sees a specialist once a year to make sure everything is fine. My husband says that over the years he felt something was off, so he's not surprised they haven't changed their opinion of him and that they were just faking it to gain access to our kids. Update 2. Early today when we dropped the kids off at school, his sister's husband was there and wanted to hear my husband's version. We went to have breakfast and he told them everything. From their reaction, it was clear that their wives were still downplaying the whole thing. According to one of them, his wife is starting to display the same traits as mother-in-law, so yeah. We agreed to talk on Saturday to plan how we are going to move forward with our children. They go to the same school and are very close. We don't want to disrupt their relationship. As for his parents, we are going to talk to them on Saturday to let them know how their relationship with our children and us is going to be from now on. Update 3. During the week we talked to our kids and asked them, without being obvious, how they have been treated by their grandparents. We got positive responses. They have been treated well, to be clear. We talked to everyone on Sunday, without the kids, and my husband was the one who did the talking. First it was his parents. They tried to apologize but my husband cut them short. He said that we weren't there for apologies or explanations, but to talk about their new relationship with us. He told them that we are no longer going to take the kids to their house anymore. They will have 2 visits per month and will be supervised by us. They will be the ones who plan the activities and they have to inform us with enough time so that we can approve them. The only time they will see the kids besides their 2 times is for birthdays and holidays, to keep their opinions of him or me to themselves, as the moment they run their mouths with our kids present, it will be the last time they will see them. And for us, we'll be civil but that's it. They agreed and before we left they told us they are separating. To which my husband replied that he doesn't care. The visits and rules are the same regardless of their marital situation. We could split the visits to 1 each or they could have 2 together, but that's up to them. The visitations will begin after their situation is resolved. Later that day they visited his sisters and their husbands, all gathered in one house. Pretty much the same drill, but he listened to his sister. His sisters apologized and told us that they are going to therapy again. They asked my husband if he was willing to go with them at some point but he refused. He told them that their relationship is way too broken to mend, that he harbors no ill feeling towards them, and the only thing he will give them is common decency. It is good that they are going to therapy again and hope they take it seriously now because their kids and husbands deserve better. With that being said, he proposed that things continue more or less the same. We take our kids to their house or they bring theirs to ours, but with the exceptions of visits from his parents. We explained them the deal with my in-laws, and that my sisters and parents are still willing to maintain the same relationship with the kids but not so much with them. Any comment from them like the one his mother did and everything will stop. If they have another plan, we could work it out. They all agreed with our plan. For now, everyone is looking to keep things civil for the kids, which I think is a good thing. Anyway, my husband and I draw lines and we will make sure they don't cross them. Not the idiot. I am so glad that you and your husband stood up for your family. Y'all are doing so great. I'm glad you guys took charge and told them how things were going to be now. It sucks that the relationships are damaged, but that was their own fault. Not the idiot. You and your husband are absolute rock stars for handling this so well and keeping your children front and center of importance. It's really sad things had to get so bad, but sometimes that's what it takes. May you have a very happy life together. Do you think she treated her in-laws unfairly? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for not helping my sister and husband pay for their IVF treatment using my inheritance? I am female 25, and my sister, Ella, is female 31. My husband is Tom and her husband is John. Ella is bisexual and our parents were religious AF. So when she brought home a GF and HS, they kicked her out. She never got an inheritance when our mom died. The both of us had cut contact with our parents, but I still decided to accept the money because I figured it's the one good thing to come out of our abusive life, so why not? The legal side of things was finalized a week ago. Ella and John came to see me while Tom was at work and told me they wanted to talk about something important. They said that they had exhausted all of their fertility money and didn't have enough to try again. I could see where this was going, so I just said, I'm sorry Ella, I understand. I was thinking about this as well, and Tom thinks this is the right thing to do too. You should have half of the money. You deserve it. John tells me that's not what they wanted to talk about, but that they wanted all of the money. I'm a bit taken aback. Apparently half won't be enough. I told them that I was going to use my part, or if she didn't want the half, all of it, for my daughter's college fund and another fund for her to use for whatever she wishes during her teen years. I remind Ella that we always promised each other our children will be financially well off because we never had that growing up. Where I live, college is extremely expensive, so despite my daughter being only 3, Tom and I wanted to start this for her. I tell Ella and John all of this, and Ella is just very upset at this point. John is more willing to have a conversation though. She comes back from the kitchen and says I'm rubbing the fact that I'm a mother in her face. I'm angry by this point because I thought she loved my daughter like her own. Ella said I was sabotaging her and that I owed her for looking after me when we were kids. John said since Ella faced more struggles, she deserved it all despite knowing full well our parents hurt me regularly as well. I was just not prepared to fight. My daughter needed my attention and I wanted Tom to be by my side because Ella was acting aggressive. I asked them to leave and called Tom. We discussed this again and agreed we shouldn't give them the money. Ella calls me and I pick up and she tells me she has to try again and that her relationship is rocky because they're frustrated they can't have a kid. I told her I would not give her the entire amount and just hung up. I feel guilty about all of this now, but I don't know if I should. Maybe since I don't have an immediate use for the money, I should have given it to her. Am I an idiot? Update. Hello, I apologize for the update being so late. Almost a month. I got caught up with everything that was going on, but now that I have a moment, I thought I'd write this since a lot of you guys still want an update. I got a lot of helpful tips and also understood that I was not an idiot. The relief I felt was huge, so thanks for helping me out. I didn't reach out to Ella or John like I initially planned now that I knew I had nothing to apologize for. A few days after though, John came over, alone, to my house and apologized for what Ella said. But I was dumb for thinking they would stop there because John asked me about the money again. They still felt like they deserved all the money. Luckily for me, I did not have to deal with all of this for the second time since Tom was home and they talked. It ended with John threatening to sue and whatnot. Ella began posting the nastiest things on Facebook and it was embarrassing to explain everything to my friends. I just felt like I had to cut off contact. They were being aggressive and just overall so horrible to my family. I told Ella that I did not want to have contact with her anymore and blocked them all. Ella showed up with John again though, this time asking for half of the money. Tom and I talked about this and we decided not to give them anything. We offered it to them, even after the incident, and all they did was insult us. We're going to use it for our daughter's future. So I know that's a sad update, but I got messages yesterday asking for one that I thought I'd still make a post. We talked to our lawyer and they can't really do anything legally and they probably won't even try because they have no money. To clarify some things, some people mentioned how IVF is not that expensive, but Ella chose a very particular clinic. It's their second time doing the cycle and so they decided to go for a more expensive option, though hence why they needed more than their half. At least this is what they told me. We had a poor childhood but got a big inheritance because our parents were rich. They just didn't spend any money on us. A lot of you think setting up a teen fund for my daughter would spoil her, but it's not for anything she might want for fun. It's just an emergency fund that we wanted to set up so she could use it until she turns 18 in case of emergencies, or if she wants a car, or for traveling, and other things not related to college. Not the idiot. If they keep coming over, get your lawyer to send out a cease and desist letter and write down all the times they come over to harass you for $$. If need be, then you can get a restraining order if they keep bugging you. Not the idiot. Standing your ground in the face of being torn apart on social media to your friends, coworkers, and family is no small thing, and you deserve to be commended for it and to feel proud of yourself. Should she have given them money? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for telling my sister to expect to go to school tomorrow with no friends? I, female 17, have a little sister, 14, who's extremely spoiled. She doesn't like to share. She hates not getting her way, and most of all, she throws tantrums when she's told no. My parents refuse to address her behavior, so she continues to behave this way. Today was the first time in years my sister had friends over to hang out. My mom had groceries sent full of snacks they were to share. My sister grabbed most of the snacks and one of the girls wanted a bag of gummy bears. My sister said no, but she had 3 bags, so I took one from her and gave it to the friend. She dropped all of what was in her hand and started stomping her feet, whining about wanting all of them. My dad made me give it back to her, so I gave her friend some fruit snacks instead. Then, they were looking for a movie to watch and the 2 girls agreed on one, but my sister wanted to watch a different movie. When I told her it was only fair the girls got to pick because they were her guests, and she was outnumbered, she got upset and went to tell them again. At this point both girls said they wanted to go home, so my dad took them home. I told my sister as long as she continues to act this way she'll never have friends. I told her to expect to go to school tomorrow and have no friends. She started crying and my dad said I was out of line. Am I an idiot for what I said? Edit. Firstly, I was not peeking waiting for something to go wrong and say something. Secondly, I was in the kitchen putting groceries away, which is literally 10 feet away from the living room, and heard her being mean to them. I was not controlling the remote for them either. Update. Before I get into this, no, my sister isn't special needs. If she were, this would have been a completely different situation. It isn't a grand update, but to answer the most asked questions, yes, my sister did go to school and the 2 girls didn't want to talk to her. And one girl apparently posted about my sister on Snapchat and told everyone about how she acted, which caused other kids to make fun of her. And this is to those of you who threw a fuss at me for being nosy or parenting my sister for trying to get my sister to chill out, caused my parents to ground me for not, and I quote, controlling her so her friends didn't leave lol. Anyways, a nice Redditor got in contact with me and helped me figure out a way to talk to my parents about getting therapy as long as it was religious based. So they agreed to my sister getting therapy, but they're not too keen on the idea of family therapy. I don't think there's anything else to cover, so yeah, thank you to those of you who gave me advice and to everyone else for the kind words. It means a lot, really. Not the idiot. WTF. Why did you get called out originally for telling her the truth, then getting called out for not controlling her? Opus, I hope that when you turn 18 you go far, far away from all this. It sounds toxic and skewed towards favoring your sister, which is unfair to you. You deserve better. Much, much better. Not the idiot. Wait, what? Your dad gave her all the snacks when she threw a tantrum over snacks. Your dad drove the friends home when she threw a second tantrum over the movie. And somehow you were meant to control her when her father didn't. He can frick right off with trying to pin his lack of parenting on you. None of this was your fault. I would tap out of trying to help any of them with her behavior. You are not responsible for her.